channel. So today we're going to do my Pan Nose eyeshadows update. I have one cheeky little pan to share with you. I know in my last Pan Nose eyeshadows video I was saying that I wasn't sure if I wanted to continue on with this project. It was a little bit of a struggle, I'm not gonna lie, but I've been enjoying going into these shades. I think the problem is they all are green or kind of marry together very, very well in terms of a color story. And if I do not want to wear green, it has been a little challenging forcing myself to go into them. But I have still done a decent job, and like I said, I have a pan to share. So we will be finally rolling out a shade, and I'm not pushing out a shade, I'm actually gonna roll out a shade because I hit pan, which is the goal of this project pan, obviously. And we're gonna be rolling in a random new shade. Well, it's gonna be kind of random. I'm going to randomize the palette and then I will pick the shade. I think that's what I need in my life right now. So anyway, let's get into my update. All right, let's start with the one that I've used the least. I've actually got two that I've only used twice. So I did roll in a single last time, and this was a green shimmer. This single is actually a depotted shade from my Alley Beauty palette, and it's the shade Adilla, and it is this one right here. It is, it's okay. It's an okay shade. I think what's happened is over time I have had in my collection a lot prettier shades to roll into my life. And so this one, even though I saved it because I thought it was pretty in that palette, I now feel like it's a bit meh. And also it's super, super old. But anyway, I went into this twice. It doesn't really look any different. I actually have it on today, but I covered it. So whatever. Anyway, this one will stay in, but it's just not exactly a shade that I feel like I kind of need in my collection anymore. So maybe I will, I don't know, make the executive decision to roll it out potentially, but I'm going to keep it in for today because I don't really want to make too many changes, and I don't want to keep, you know, rolling items out and not really giving them a chance. I went into it twice, so it's not that good. The other shade that I went into twice is actually from my Hocus Pocus 2 palette from ColourPop. It's because it's a really dark matte purple, and although I've used it twice, it's just been a little bit tricky to go into. So it is this one called Observe. Again, it doesn't look any different. And yeah, that's kind of what it looks like. I've kind of used it. I used it actually all over, pretty much all over the lid and in the crease yesterday. But the other time that I used it was more of a liner, and those are the only 2 times in the last month. I have a rule to use a shade 20 times or roll it out, or if the shade sits for 3 months and I'm still not using it, then I can roll it out, or obviously hit pan and roll it out. I want to be able to hit more pans in my collection, but I feel like I'm getting tricky shades for me to hit pan on, and I think this one is going to be quite tricky to hit pan on. So regardless, it's staying in. I'm not at the point that I want to roll it out yet because I'm curious to see what the new shade is that I'm going to be rolling in. If it is a green, I think I will scream, but it's fine. Well, let's carry on. Let's see what we get. Anyway, this is what this one looks like. It looks really nice with that other green, but it's just very Halloween-y. Okay, next up, I do have a shade in my Nouveau palette from ABH. This is also a green matte. This is called Liberty, and I also have this one on today. My lighting might be a little off just because the sun is super, super bright, and so I think everything's a bit dark. So hopefully I can brighten it up when I edit, but this is what the pan is looking like now. Hopefully it's visible on the screen. But yeah, not a pan there, but I do feel like I'm getting more of a dip forming. I used it 3 times this month, and honestly these shades are pretty crumbly. I mean, it's ABH, they have a typical sort of, you know, there's a lot of kick up with their mattes, and because I have a pan here, I kind of know how far I need to go and how deep the shades are, and even though I'm quite happy with the little dip that's forming, I'm nowhere near pan. But it's fine. I'm actually really enjoying the shade. So aside from, you know, like me complaining about having greens in this project, I'm enjoying this one because it's like a dirty, murky, dark, I don't know, swampy green, and it almost leans more brown sometimes. You can see it there, it looks quite brown. So it actually works with quite a lot of looks that I don't necessarily have to go green. So it's been a lot more versatile than some of these other shades. And then I have 2 shades in my Earthy palette from Beauty Bay, and one of these I have finally hit pan on, and I am excited to be rolling at least one of them out, right? So the shade that I'm rolling out is this one right here called Palm. I don't know if you can see that pan, but I used it 3 more times this month, and I finally hit a pan. I was very, very pleased. If you didn't watch the video, this was selected as my palette takeover where I want to use. It's like a new sort of challenge for myself where a random palette is chosen and then I use that palette for the week. However, I only used this palette like 3 times in that video because I didn't end up wearing my makeup at all that week because we had like lots of storms and it was just like no point. I mean, power was lost, whatever. If you didn't watch that video, I explain it there. I thought that I would hit pan on both of these in that week, and obviously I didn't, but I hit pan in it after the fact. So yeah, that one has a pan, so it's going to be rolling out. And then the other one that I'm working on is a lime, which is right here. I do have it on today, and this one I have used 4 times. And I think, I don't know what's going on. This one's going to take a long time. It's gotten really stiff. Like, it's so super, super pretty. I don't need to put a lot on. It's this really bright green that I have on. But yeah, I think this is going to take even longer, which is such a shame because it's a beautiful shade and it's all my fault because I picked that shade, but I just don't want to go into it anymore. I don't know. It is very, very pretty, but you can see why I've been struggling with this color story. It is all kind of very Halloween-y in my opinion. And then I have this one, which obviously I'm rolling out, which is a beautiful, almost champagne gold underneath there. So that has been my color story. Hopefully we can get a shade that spices this up a little bit. I'm not sure what I would want. I don't even know if I want a shimmer or a matte. I have no idea what I want, but let's pick the palette because this is always the exciting part. All right, so I have my wheel of palettes. We are going to spin it and we will hopefully get a good one with some good choices in there. So the one that is picked is the GlossGods Dancing in the Sky. So this was just rolled out of my No Pan Left Behind. Do I want to go into this? It is to hit pan. I think there is a shade actually that is very close that I could potentially hit pan. So if you're not familiar, this is the palette. This is all green. Like I swear, I cannot get away from it. It's like, I don't know what's going on. But, oops, I could probably roll this out pretty fast. This is the palette. Obviously, you would have seen it recently on my channel. I feel like with the way that my projects are going, it seems that I only have maybe like 10 eyeshadow palettes. I swear I have 70 plus. It's just some of them are never picked. They're just never chosen. And I do have them in my wheel. Okay, so I think straight away I could hit pan in that and then call it a day and then I'll have a new pan for next month. I think I'm gonna do that. As much as I would love to have a palette that doesn't have a green, a full-on green palette is chosen. So I can't really get away from it. And also, I'm not gonna complain. I love this palette so much. So that shade is called Aurora. Yeah, I think we're gonna hit pan in Aurora for sure. This one actually is more blue than green. And if I just put it next to, it's definitely more of a topper, so it doesn't have much of a base, but I put it right next to that Beauty Bay one. And if I could lay that on top of some of these other shades, I could potentially not have a green look if I don't want one. That's kind of what I tried to do today. Obviously I have green, but I layered a different GlossGods shade on top of it to make it not so green. So maybe with this shade, I could do it and I will be able to definitely hit pan in that. So, okay, this is not the worst outcome. It's definitely not what I had wanted, but it actually might be fine because it's a really, really easy pan to hit pan on. It's a super squishy shade. It's very pretty. I'm picking a shade that is not green in this palette. And I'm giving this palette a little bit more love. I just gave this palette some love and now I'm giving it a little bit more love. So, okay, we're gonna go with this one. We're gonna roll in Aurora and I'm going to move on before I change my mind. All right, that's all I have for you today. Thank you so much for watching. Stick around if you want to watch my panning journey, and I will see you all in my next videos. Bye!